That shit jumped up quicker. I was watching, it was 0, now it's at 72. There you go. Now it's higher.
For listeners,
welcome to the WindUp podcast, brought to you by C4 Bat Company, Issa Cookies, Ferrari Michelada Mix, Rick Web Design, Senor Spitz Sunflower Seeds, and Frank the Tank Team 7 Grillers.
Yeah.
This is a special podcast because there's some breaking news, not only in the Houston area, but also on the national level as well. And so we deemed it that it was necessary. So I want to apologize for us being a little bit late after our...
That was my fault, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was Julio's fault. But it was also my fault, too, because I was in Sugar Land, and I got the bat call. And so I had to, so I dropped everything, and I came all the way over here because of some breaking news. Having said all that, I'm joined today by our co-host, Junior Aguilar, and also our producer extraordinaire, Julio Ramirez, who was cleaning the chicken coop today. So that's one of the reasons why we're late. Yep. And also, we have the new Perfect Game Director, Darren Larson, who, I might add, was here last week, and you should have broke the news last week.
I was trying, man. We couldn't get it done in time.
Yeah, so you know what we're going to do today is obviously we're going to talk about the drastic change that's going on in youth baseball here in the Houston area. That's I've already gotten calls already from California and from New York and from Florida, and so I guess good news travels fast, Darren.
Yeah.
And so let us congratulate you on being named a new director of Perfect Game here in Houston, or what's your actual title?
My actual title is supposed to be like Vice President of Youth Event Program, stuff like that.
Okay.
VP of something.
Okay.
Nice.
VP of something. Well, that's better than assistant director.
Yeah, no, I'm not assistant director. So technically, I'm going to be the Texas State Director, in charge of all of Texas. Okay. Like more hands-on, and then I'm the VP to go out and hire new directors around the country, develop the program. Okay. Things like that.
Okay. Well, so, one of the reasons why we decided to do this, and once again, thank you for showing up. I don't know where you're at today. I know I was in Sugar Land. He was at the chicken coop. He was
3K
hitting ground balls. And I'm assuming you were...
I was on the phone.
Okay. Okay. Well,
hey, I actually look. It's a funny story because we were actually before practice. I took Jalen to the park and we were just shooting some hoops. I put my phone down, and some guys kept saying, "Hey, there's a phone ringing." I forgot I put mine on loud on the little noise thing, and then out of nowhere, man, I go and I check my phone. Man, shout out to everybody that blew up my phone. I tried to call Darren, and then he was on the phone, so he just called me back. He's like, "Hey, we on?" I said, "Let's go."
Okay.
Let's go.
So to answer that question, so the phone lines will be open. What's the number, Julio?
I'll post it up.
We posted it
It's
up.
already on there. I pinned it.
It's on there. So to answer your question, Timothy Johnson, if you do call in, we are answering questions. So, but anyway, now's your time to talk to Perfect Game Director, newly minted Perfect Game Director, Darren Larson. So the question everybody wants to know, one of the questions that everybody wants to know, Darren, is why make the change on a Thursday, 2 days before a USSSA tournament? Why? Is it like you had to make the change today, or why couldn't you wait till Monday? And the reason why I'm asking that is because are all teams going to have to what's going on this week? Are they going to have to put in all their players this week?
No, what we're going to do is if they go on tomorrow,
okay,
and they want to put rosters in, great. Okay. That's awesome. We're going to encourage everybody to bring paper rosters on Saturday. Okay. And so if we had to stay with USSSA, there was so much confusion anyway on the COVID guardianship thing. Okay. I figured there'd be like 15 forfeits anyway. Okay. So this way you can bring your paper roster. We'll go off the paper roster for the weekend. We can always check what you had your player history before anyway. Okay. And we can always go on to the other company stuff and look at it if we need to. But we tried to do it last week when we weren't going to be playing. Okay, and then we just couldn't quite get everything closed and finalized until today about 5 o'clock. Okay. And the whole purpose is yes, it was kind of short notice. We're the only tournament in town, okay, that's playing this weekend. So I knew that we would be able to take all the information and send it over to PG. We were hoping to do it this morning, so we'd already have everything done. Okay. But it didn't get done until close to 5 o'clock. Alrighty. So they've been working on schedules all day. We took basically everybody's all the emails and all your coach's contact information, and we're going to register you with a Perfect Game. I got to get that out of my vocabulary.
Okay.
We're going to register you with a Perfect Game at no cost. We're waiving the fees for the rest of the summer in the state of Texas.
Okay.
And so there's no $60 fee or anything like that. You've already paid it with USSSA, so you're good. You got it waived. So we'll take your insurance. So say for the weekend, nothing's really going to change, right? Okay. So like we're going to show up and get your insurance. I was already going to make you fill out a waiver anyway for my personal events. So you're just going to have to fill out that waiver anyway.
Yeah, with all Perfect Games, you have to do that waiver. So just to let everybody know.
So we're going to do a little. Normally with Perfect Game, you have to have it all done before you get there.
Exactly.
This weekend, one time only, we're going to be doing it ourselves.
Okay.
I have every site director I have is going to be at the park this weekend. So they're going to be getting the waivers, they're going to be getting the team rosters, they're going to be checking you in. They're going to be doing all of that all weekend.
Okay.
And to get the ball rolling.
Okay.
And so, but I thought it was easier to do it this weekend, even though there'd be a little confusion today.
There's a lot of confusion. Yeah. There's more than just a little.
No, I mean, and a lot of it's people like throwing information out there that like, hey, you got to use this kind of bat. Yeah. No.
Well, that's why we're here today.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do this.
Okay.
So we're going to try to keep it as close to what everybody's used to as possible for this weekend.
Okay.
And if there's any other bigger adjustments, we'll make them. But it's all for the benefit of players and the events in Houston and around the country. And so my job is going to basically be to help rewrite some of the Perfect Game rules.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time getting rid of that USSSA thing. Yeah. Boy, it's been 12 years, man. And so it's tough going from the number one USSSA director in the country and then starting over with Perfect Game. It's going to be an adjustment, but I'm excited for the challenge. But we're going to make it as easy as possible for this weekend. Okay. Keep everything smooth and just play ball, right? Everybody's wanting to play ball.
Everybody's wanting to play.
We've been off for a little while. We're on all the best parks in the city, and we'll kind of go from there and work into it. But this way, it gives me an extra 3-4 days for the next 2-3 weeks worth of tournaments. Okay, so we can get through all the mumbo jumbo this weekend and just smooth sailing after that.
Okay. Why did you leave U-Trip after so many years? That you can tell us. I mean, I know.
Yeah, everything I do. I mean, we're forecasting out 2 to 3 years. I'm looking at the market. I'm planning out 2 to 3 years what I think is going to happen. Okay. And obviously, Perfect Game is the monster in the high school market.
Right.
Okay. They've kind of come down to the 14Us. They kind of come down to the 13Us and being the monster for the big events the whole year. Where they've been weak at is the AA, AAA not offering those events, and they've been weak in the 12 and below, okay? And the reality is they just haven't understood the youth market, okay? So that's why they approached me, because I'm the number one director in the country for anybody. No one does 8,000 teams a year in youth tournaments.
Okay.
And we did 8,300 teams last year. And so, I mean, I'm double the size of the nearest USSSA director. So they wanted somebody that knew what they were doing to help them develop their program for the youth. So that's why they contacted me, and we kind of cut a deal and brought me on board.
Okay, so when you say you cut a deal and they brought you on board, are you bringing your whole staff?
Yeah,
with you?
That's a good question. Is everybody with me? Charles. Okay. I mean, me and Charles have been together for 11 years. We've been friends for 20, and so I brought Charles on, probably 9 years ago to start helping me with the tournaments. Amanda, everybody loves Amanda. Amanda's still going to be texting you on Monday to make sure you're playing and doing all that. She's still there to help everybody. I brought a new guy on recently, Hugh, that helps me out the rack and do some other stuff. Okay. He used to be a clubby for the Round Rock Express years ago. He's still on board with us. All of our site directors are still with us. As of today, right now, I anticipate everybody still staying with us. Okay. But all of our main staff that's on salary and that is still on board.
Okay. Now, so if you took everybody with you, what's going to happen to U-Trip? Now, I know you don't work there anymore, but what do you think, since you project 2-3 years down the line, what do you think?
Potentially Scrapyard goes to the U-Trip. I mean, I can see that happening.
Or is it going to be back like in the old days, they're going to play a BOD, Laporte and all that?
Nope. I just got off the phone. I mean, Laporte, I just got off the phone with Nick. Laporte's we run Laporte's league and we do all the work, and it's 50 hours of work a week.
Okay.
And so we're used to doing it. So the Laporte League, the Baseball USA Fall League that we have, those will still stay in place. That Top Gun League we were talking about.
Yeah.
Part of the reason we put that in place is because I knew I was going to Perfect Game.
Okay.
And so I wanted to elevate that event for that league as a Perfect Game league for the top teams, right?
Okay.
And so we're doing some of that stuff. But I'm sure somebody's gonna come out and try to do a couple of tournaments at little parks around town and doing those types of things, and that's fine. I mean, it's all good. I mean, we understand that USSSA is not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. They're still going to have some events around. They're still king over in Louisiana. My job is to start running events in Austin, San Antonio. Okay. I mean, I've already got fields over there. We're going to start running events over there for PG.
Okay.
I've got inroads into Waco, doing some stuff in Waco, and/or hiring some guys. And that's the other thing too, is as the U-Trip guy, the way our system was set up, for me to bring on somebody else in town, it didn't make sense. We were already good enough, and it was just, I'm my own business. Why am I going to create my own competitor, right?
Correct.
As the VP with PG and being on salary and that, I'm going to be able to bring on some guys to let them run an event. Okay. They're still going to have to follow what we do, but like if I want to bring a director on, they want to be full time with PG and fully on board, mm-hmm. and they're going to go by how we want to run them. We're going to bring them on board. Okay. If it's a guy in Austin or somebody up in Dallas, or if it's 2 or 3 guys in Houston, where I haven't done that in the past, if they're capable of doing what we expect on running the event, we're going to bring them on board. And I've already talked to a couple guys in town that everybody would be happy with if they come over. I'm not going to say anything, but like if they come over, it'll make my life easier, and it's going to help the baseball community. Covers the city a little better.
Why wouldn't they come over?
They'd be crazy not to come over.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, because if I'm looking at the landscape of baseball right now, okay, so U-Trip is going to play at the scrapyard, and where else?
I don't know if they're going to get there. I don't know if they'll change or not, but I mean, I think that is a possibility, right?
Yeah, and I don't expect you to know the answer. Yeah. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
really, that's the only park that's open, right?
They're nations, but I mean, I think there's the possibility, but maybe I'll offer her the PG state directorship for fast pitch.
Yeah. Okay, so in other words, USSSA is on life support.
I don't know.
Life support, and the doctors rolling in with the little. Are they in hospice? Which one are they?
They're gonna have to find somebody that knows what they're doing, and I don't know who that person is.
Now, having said that, the person who they hire that's going to take your spot is going to be in a terrible position.
Right.
So why would you take that job, Junior? Would you take that job?
I don't know. Would everybody come play with me or no? I'll just play.
Well, you don't have no fields.
No, I guess no. It's tough. You're right. I mean, if you don't have no fields to start off, I mean, where are you gonna host tournaments?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That I mean, it's a tough spot unless somebody with deep pockets comes in and just builds their own stuff. But I don't see that happening.
That's not gonna happen. Okay. So another thing, and I know I talked to you about this off air. So we're gonna have the AA and the AAA. You're bringing that concept over from U-Trip because previously it was just if you're a PG, you're a PG.
Right.
And that's it. Okay.
Real quick, Frank Griffin, the state director, and he's one of the top guys nationally with USSSA. I love that guy like a brother. I mean, I was almost in tears pretty much when I had to break the news to him at 5 o'clock. I mean, we trust each other immensely. I've had his back. He's had my back. Nothing but respect for Frank. He's done a great job, and he's really helped me out in my life. Okay. And so coming on board 11 years ago, it was just that time to have more responsibility and to build something. And it was just I know that I didn't want somebody else to take the job with PG that knew what they were doing on the youth market. I didn't want to have to compete with that guy.
Okay.
With PG's power behind him. And so with me coming in, like, dude, I got all the stuff that U-Trip is bad at, PG is good at. Yeah. And so I can bring some of the stuff that U-Trip is good at and bring that in on the youth. And I mean, sky's the limit.
Are they going to let you implement that stuff?
Yeah, they've been.
Is that in your contract? Because everybody says everything to bring you on board, and then once you get there, you're like your hands are tied.
It's in my contract.
Okay, cool.
And so they've been. I think what everybody doesn't understand is like when you talk to the local guy like Britt Smith, who's an awesome director for their high school program in Texas. Mm-hmm. When you talk to him or the guy in California that's at the local level, or like some of the other guys, they're saying the company line, right?
Okay.
I've been dealing with the owners. The guy with Jerry Ford and Ben Ford and the guys that bought them a few years ago or a couple years ago, and what their vision is. And their vision is to dominate the youth baseball market and to really get after it and to improve their high school vision. They've got improved TV stuff coming in. They've got all kinds of new stuff coming in.
Yeah,
They've gotten works that is just phenomenal. And their vision for what they want to have happen is like what USSSA was 20 years ago. And so they're very hungry to make things better and to build the program and to bring baseball to everybody. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited about it. They really want me on board to help out with things. We've done it. My staff has done an incredible job over the last 10 years. And so I couldn't be more excited. I've got friends all over the country that have been blowing me up all day. And getting back to my original point is, when those other directors around the country have talked to the PG guys, the PG guy is telling them this, right? They're telling them their old company line. And that director hasn't problem solved for PG. Hasn't said like, hey, what if we did this? And no, that's not going to work. We need to do it this way. And me, one of my strengths is problem solving and being like, hey, look, I just flat out told them, I'm a little blunt. I mean, everybody kind of knows, but that's not going to work. What you're doing doesn't work. I'm kicking your butt right now. I mean, you guys there's no way you're going to beat me. And so unless you make changes, and across the board, all of them like, hey, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, what if we did a hybrid model? And what if we did this? And we problem solve together, right? Okay. And their ownership group is phenomenal that way. And so now we just have to implement it, right? So we got over the next 2-3 weeks, it'll be kind of a hybrid. And then as we get into the fall, the full program will be in place as far as new sets of rules and how we're going to do some things, the new levels, the point system, their diamond cast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So diamond cast, those that don't know, is like Game Changer basically on steroids, I guess. And so I'm going to have scorekeepers for all the major divisions. I can't do it this weekend, it's a little short notice, right?
Yeah.
But starting next weekend on all the major fields, we'll have scorekeepers.
Okay.
And my goal is for the rest of the summer to try to get enough staff to do every field, even on the AA and AAA.
Nice.
And so, and then we can create a national leaderboard based on those stats for the youth. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then once we get into the fall, it's kind of hard to do 30, 40 fields with staff every weekend and get good scorekeepers. So what we're going to do is, I was working on this with UTRIP for 3 years. It just never happened. Where on the Diamond Cast stuff, if I'll let the AA and AAA teams do their scorekeeping on that app, okay, one, it keeps track of pitching and all that for us. We can do a pitch count in addition to the innings on a max. But this way, the AA and AAA can keep their stats. We can pull certain stats you can't cheat on, right? No matter what you're doing. So we're going to pull certain stats off their scorekeeping and put those on the leaderboard. Okay, so we can still track those divisions of AA and AAA. We know who throws the most strikes, who has the most wins. We can do slugging percentage. We can do on-base percentage. Yeah. Those are all legitimate numbers, right? So batting average, yeah, it's going to be skewed by who's doing the book. But there's certain things we can look at and kind of pick those to do a leaderboard off of, okay? And then for me, I then can now expand my Team Texas program to be PG Team Texas, and also go to do PG California, PG Atlanta or Georgia, PG Florida, and then do some of those type of events. Now go to Christmas time or in the fall to bring all those kids off each team that are the best kids into an event. Because I mean, PG already has one of the top 14 new events in the country, right? That they pay to bring guys in for that event. And I think the 13-year-old is not free, but it's still one of the top events in the country where they're bringing guys in.
Well, from my understanding, nothing's free in PG, but that's just me. So I'm going to segue into this. So previously, perfect game tournaments here have been $850, $800, $900, $1,000 for tournaments. Okay, so what are they going to be now?
We're basically, what I told them is like, look, the only way this works is if I keep my same pricing. I keep my VIP club, the things we've been doing with everybody, same relationships. We keep that going on. Now, are we going to have once a month have a super something that charges $750 plus some other events that are normal price? Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to have some corporate ran events. We're bringing extra guys in and doing stuff like that. That where you have national team like our Super NIT.
Yeah.
Well, we have some other teams coming in from around the country that's going to cost more, right? But our normal day-to-day events are going to be the same price.
Okay.
And then that's the other thing. Like, didn't you have fun at that Super NIT in March?
Oh man, it was amazing.
So I want to take that and be able to do that in Houston more often.
Oh yeah.
And so at different ages, right?
Yep. So how is that going to conflict with the new complex that's being built outside of Austin? Why wouldn't Perfect Game tell you, we spent all this money on this complex? Why can't we have the tournament here
during the summer?
Or just whenever?
I mean, but just starting with the summer. So during the summer, June, July, they're going to have 24 fields wherever they build their park at.
Right.
Okay. So that's filled up by all their high school events June and July. They might squeeze a weekend there where we can do a youth event at that park.
Okay.
Okay. So like during the summer, definitely be able to play in Houston or Dallas or something like that, having some other big ages, maybe expanding WWBA to 12 and 13s and bringing it into Houston or something, expanding some of those things. But Now, of course, like if we have a weekend here, some of the big Super NITs or something, like, yeah, they're trying to fill that park up during the week, right?
Yeah.
Or on the weekends in March or something. Yeah, you're probably gonna host it there, right? Host one of them there. You can't do that type of event only in Austin every time.
Okay.
And so you want to still control and get control of the whole state. And so, because as you know, not all the Dallas teams come to Houston. Not all Houston's teams go to Dallas. So you're gonna have to still have. You're still gonna have to have some of those other events around.
Okay.
And so. It might just be not as many out-of-state teams on that one. But when you're bringing those other out-of-state teams in, you're going to come there.
You know, how come Perfect Game hasn't worked previously here? I mean, they've ran tournaments, but it hasn't been. And I don't know the model, but nobody goes and plays there.
Here's the problem. And like I was on the phone, I was text messaging with the guy up in Dallas, and he's like, "I was with PG for 6 years." No, you weren't. I mean, yeah, you were, but you weren't. I mean, you were running your own brand, okay?
Just using
and you ran every other event was PG, and you're running your other thing the other weekends, okay? The reason the USSSA is successful is you're either all in or you're all out. We're not going to allow people with PG to come in and run 5 of these events and 5 PG events. We want you to be on board, and we're going to return that support. We're going to return that support, and so. Those guys, so all those PG 25 type of events and that had some weird, crazy little league rules. That's going to be gone. I mean, we have to change that. That needs to become more of an open event that's using select baseball rules, not little league rules, closed rosters, and all that. It needs to be more like the Global World Series in Alabama. It needs to be more like that for PG 25. I mean, that's what I would envision. And then we just need to enhance some other bigger events to host and just make it better.
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm with Steve. Like, I know there were some PG tournaments trying to be ran up in the Premier, but you would look at it, and I mean, you had 1 or 2 teams, and nobody would go sign up. Everybody was playing with you.
The problem is that you got to learn how to build the tournament for one, which some people like how we do it and some people don't. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. That's how you build tournaments to have the best teams and get the best tournaments. You can't have 0 teams in December and expect teams from California to sign up to come play in March.
Yeah.
You got to show some teams in there for them to come out and play. And part of the reason, Steve, getting back to why it hasn't been successful is they haven't had the right people in place. Most of the guys they've hired have been cast-offs that USSSA had fired.
Bums.
And so they go and do a PG event, and then they had no rules. They did whatever they want. They didn't really run PG. Okay, and then you take some of the PG rules, they really haven't had a good feel for what needed to happen in the youth market. And that's kind of why they brought me in, so we can tighten that up and run, whether I go in and run corporate events all over the country or hire certain guys. So in some areas it'll be 100% corporate. We'll run the event.
Okay.
Some areas we have really good directors that are already doing 4,000 or 5,000 teams a year that really know how to run tournaments.
Okay.
Those guys will be on the same model that they're doing with USSSA. They'll be their own business owner, but they're going to be 100% in, or they're not going to be with PG.
Okay.
And so,
I'm okay with everything you said. My issue is with PG. Well, not with PG. It's the AA and the AAA. I mean, do you, for people that have been following Perfect Game for a while, do you think that's going to water down the Perfect Game system?
I mean, at some.
But I know why you're doing it.
Yeah, no.
I understand that.
Here's what happened to USSSA. Okay. When we first started out, when my 26-year-old was 10, okay, and we played with Bill Peterson and with the Mudcats over in Cy-Fair. And so, we were a AAA team, slide back for AAA and major. Okay. Back then, if I said I was going to bump you to AA, nobody knew what that was, for one. Even getting put to AAA, somebody was going to punch you in your face. Okay. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, a year later, I'm over in Friendswood and I see this league out there. I'm like, what are you guys playing? They're like, we're playing USSSA. I'm like, what? What level? Oh, we're AA. I'm like, there's AA? I didn't even know it. And then 5 years later, they're punching you in the face if you move them up to AAA from AA. Everybody wanted to be AA, right? And so, which is fine because they had the dominant events like PG has right now.
Right.
PG has all the dominant events. USSSA had all the best players in the country up to 14U, okay? And so they kept that market. What happened was they started getting lazy. And so they started not advertising their events. For 3 years I've been complaining, why are we not advertising Elite 32?
Yeah.
No advertisement for it. They finally started doing it a little bit. They gave away. I had some guy from Washington State take his team. They were the best team in Washington up to about 17U. These guys were beasts. That dude calls me from a 14U team. He calls me from Florida, and he's like, "Oh my God, every kid in these bullpens are 6'4", 6'3" at 14. This is incredible. This is like an MLB workout." And that was the Elite 32 for 14U. Fast forward, we have our 14Us hardly even make. It's like a AA event, and so in that thing, and the same thing happened with 13-year-olds. I mean, we're not getting the best 13. We're having to give away bursts to go because PG is dominating that market. So the trick is still to bring in the AA and AAA, so you have more of a base, right? And then, but still maintain your emphasis on the major levels. Okay. You do special things for the major teams. You have special events and you advertise those special events. You do more TV deals and putting more online games on there. You're doing and just keeping it special, right? You're keeping your 14-year-old event. We're talking about doing an international event. We're bringing teams in from around the world into a location, and then we're doing like a feeder system. We pick the best kids. We kind of like what USA Baseball does, where you dwindle it down to the best kids, and then you go play in that event. Doing things like that. If you keep doing that, and that's what the Fords have built their reputation on, right? With PG. If you keep doing that, that's going to take care of everything, right? You're going to still be able to have those AA and AAA kids to play in those tournaments, because that's what's going to pay the bills a lot of times, to be able to do some of those special events. Cause like the 14U, they do pay for everybody to come in, so it's they lose a lot of money on that 14U event. They bring 400 kids in. I don't even think they might have to pay their way there, but I think they might even fly them in. I mean, I don't know for sure. I didn't have 14.
It's kind of hard to say you lose money when you charge $3,500 a team in the summer.
Yeah,
so
you know me, I'm 14 and under. You know me, I'm 14 and under, man. I've hardly been running any PG. I haven't been running any high school events. So, I mean, my high school events cost $550.
Well, and the reason why I ask you that, Darren, is because those of us who have been around the perfect game system for a while, that's always been like the top.
Right.
And so when you bring in AA and AAA, honestly, to me, it means just watering it down.
No, I understand.
And I hope that doesn't happen. And you're going to be the steward of that. Hopefully it doesn't do that, because, you're always, perfect game. And then you tell me, well, I'm bringing in AA and AAA teams. I'm like, well, hold on.
But you can't. But if you look at it, like that, Vinny's talking about the corporate events they're running at Premier. How many of those teams were AA?
Man.
Right. So you're already getting them playing there.
I understand
this way we can weed them out a lot of times. You can recognize some kids. There's some really good kids that are playing AA in some small towns, and you can find those kids to move them up into major teams. And the reason you can develop, the reason USSSA always has so many of those good major teams nationally is, you know what the deal is. You have a AA team, the 4 best kids leave, okay? They go create a new team, and then maybe they're AAA this year, then 4 more leave, and now they're major, right? The best kids get together, and then the kids that are AA kids find some more AA kids and stay AA. That's how you build your major division, is by having those AA and AAA teams. We just have to be smarter as a company, or smart enough as a company to make the major level events more special. And maybe it is where I just have the scorekeepers on the majors, and then we just let the teams do their own scorekeeping on the AA and AAA. Yeah. And so that separates it, right? Yeah. That makes it more special for that event. And so, and maybe you're not getting on Fox Sports News or whatever on their channel on a game for AA and AAA. Maybe the championship game somewhere or something. I don't know. But you're not really making it. It's still going to be different. You're still having some special things in those AA and AAA events, more so than everywhere else. But you can still enhance and advertise and build that major level up. Okay. You need some of those kids though to move up.
Okay, so with you being based here in Texas, okay, because you brought something up about having something like a USA Baseball type of thing. Now, the perception has always been that USA Baseball, all those coaches come from California.
Yeah, and I don't want to get in trouble by mentioning. Sometimes you get in trouble by mentioning USA Baseball. I don't want to get in trouble by mentioning USA Baseball. I just use that as an example.
Yeah. No, well, I'm mentioning it because that's the perception. All the players come from over there. All the coaches come from over there. So how are we going to change that? Or how are you going to change that with PG?
I think I have the reputation here of being pretty even-handed and fair with everybody, even though sometimes they may not think that. I'm friends with everybody. I'm not doing I'm asshole enough not to do special favors for certain people. I try to be even-handed with everything. And I basically, it's kind of like when we do the exposure games here, I have maybe over the last 3-4 years, I maybe have had a total of 3 Houston coaches. And so where I'm bringing guys in from around the state to do it. So that way they're not recruiting our local players and costing me business on the teams, and I haven't stole players from anybody or anything like that, and everybody trusts me not to steal their player. I mean, so we just kind of went about our business, and so we want to bring guys in. It's like when I offered him last week about, hey, you want to get back into doing a little bit of coaching, right? Finding some of those guys to coach some of those games.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got to find some guys that have some experience. I mean, I feel like when I have a lot of the college guys and even some of the pro guys, when they help us with the Team Texas stuff, I think my evaluation of a 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old, 13-year-old is better than theirs. Yeah. I mean, it takes me all 30 seconds, and I know whether that kid can play or not. I mean, now whether they have heart or not, or if they're going to whine or you got parent issues or something like that, that's another story. That takes a little more time. I mean, we can both roll a kid.
Exactly.
We can roll a kid 2 balls and give me a couple of air swings, and I'm going to know whether you can play a little bit. Okay, I mean, now we're separating between the AAA and the major. You're going to have to get on the field and prove that, right?
Yeah.
And so
now let's talk about some of the differences that is going to happen in PG. What's going to happen with all these teams and their points, the U-Trip points and all that stuff?
Great question.
Because I mean, and the phone lines are open.
Yeah.
Say the number.
The phone lines are open right now. If you want to call right here,
because I can't.
Director,
I can't. Your
713-703-5783. Call us, man.
Yeah, because I can't answer all your questions. I mean, and talk to Darren. But yeah, so let's talk about all the teams right now with with their points. What's going to happen now if they can't play anymore?
The points is this is the 1 year. This is why we're doing it now. Okay. This is the only time in the middle of a season points don't matter. Yeah. Literally, the Alabama Global World Series, he's taken teams in that event that have not played all year. So points do not matter. The Elite 32, they were getting teams in the Elite 32 that didn't qualify, just requested a bid. Yeah, we looked at your record a little bit, right? Yeah. They just requested a bid. They're in the tournament. So everybody's just getting in. So this is the 1 year that points don't really mean a lot. Yeah. And then we also have played more than everybody else anyway. Yeah. So other than California and Florida, maybe, I think even Florida, I do more double point weekends than anybody. I was doing more double point weekends than anybody in the country. Okay. Like Lolly from up in Dallas was coming down here all the time because my point values were always higher than Dallas. Okay, because I was paying extra to get double points. Okay. And so all my stuff was always a higher stature because I was putting that money back into the teams. So you're not going to really need, I mean, like the 2 teams I talked to today, they're already like number 2 and 3 seeds in the tournament, and no one else is really, half these other teams aren't getting to play yet. California's not going to play until they go to the Elite, if they even go, right? So who's catching up to them point-wise? And so the points really aren't mattering a lot right now, so this is a good time for that. And then if they need, and they're not having to play in a state tournament, you're not having to do all the normal hoops that you have to jump through to go to an event. So if you want to go to Alabama, you want to go to Sulphur or to Dallas to play in a World Series or something, just sign up. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can just sign up and play because we're not starting until now.
But let's be real, man. Did this COVID stuff kind of change the plans, or was this going to happen? Let me kind of explain it. Because the S30 was a big hit. We haven't played baseball. Is this why the move was made? Because you finished at the top?
No, the reality was we were close to.
We got a caller.
We were close to finishing the deal before the Super NIT. Okay. The Super NIT was supposed to be a perfect game event. Okay. And it was gonna be close, and then we pushed it off. It just didn't work out as far as all the contracts and everything else. And so we were like, okay, let's wait a little bit. Now, anxiety and all the rest of it, switching in March, I was still gonna do it, but I mean, this is actually. Then we stopped talking for 2 months, and then all of a sudden we started talking again, and like. This is the perfect time to reset because everything. I thought we were playing the 15th, right? Yeah. And so, perfect time to reset. Nobody needs points. Nobody needs to play in a state tournament. Now I can up the ante on the events. I can make the events better for the rest of the summer. I can actually instead of running an Astros Festival, I can actually tag World Series on there because it's not costing me $500 a team. Yeah. And so I can have. So the Gulf Coast Championships is Gulf Coast World Series for PG. It'll be. The Astros Fest will be a World Series event, even though we probably won't be at the Astros game. But, I mean, it's still going to be a good event. We've got a lot of teams still calling in. Okay. So I have more flexibility with some of that stuff. Okay. But, yeah, we were going to do it anyway. I mean, I didn't want to wait for there was a lot of management changes at USSSA and that were going on. And so it was just like some of the leadership on some things. It was just like guys that haven't been in the field doing tournaments, that had never gotten a field before in their life. They're making decisions on things. We'd go to convention. We'd leave there all excited. And 3 years later, we're still talking about the same thing. And so, I mean, like,
Yeah,
dude,
no.
and this last year, I just left there more mad than I've ever left. So that kind of, I mean, I was happy for 2 weeks during Christmas. The rest of the time I was pissed off about stuff that happened at the convention, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And so I was kind of open-minded. And so, and I'll be honest, I reached out to somebody and like, hey, man, can you hook this up? I talked to 2-3 people. Yeah. I'm like, hey, can you hook this up and get me a conversation with somebody? And so they reached out finally, and basically the conversations just went really well. And again, the ownership group is, those guys are all baseball. Well, the top 2 guys aren't necessarily, I don't know if they're baseball guys or not. They're just really aggressive guys that have good hearts and want to see it be successful. And then the Fords are obviously great baseball guys. Yeah. And so, and they've got, I talked to Jerry Ford, the founder, a couple weeks ago, and it was like, I got off that phone call and I'm like, this guy sincerely is doing everything for the right reason. Genuine guy that loves baseball. He actually wants to see some expanded a little bit too, to get a better reach out there so we have fans for tomorrow. Okay. And so, but genuinely good guy. I mean, it's hate to say it, kind of reminded me of Heath Dynasty's Bender's dad a little bit as far as talking to him on the phone. Yeah. Just genuine old school dude. And so,
real quick, Darren, brought to you by the Ferrari Michelada Mix Hotline. We got our first caller of the night, man.
All right, man.
So you made the call. Now they're making the call to the WindUp. So who do we have on the line?
Hi, my name is William.
Hey, what's going on, William?
Fine, great. Listen, just a quick question, and I'll hang up. I don't know if you guys already answered this. What happened to that super mega complex that we're building here in Texas? I think it's Hutt's, HUTTO.
Yeah, Hutto, Texas.
That's dead, or that's still going to happen?
It's not dead. I'm not. I literally just signed up 4 hours ago. I'm fully on board as of 5 o'clock, or 5:15 or something like that. But they're still working that deal over there, and hopefully it gets done. They had some management changeover at the city. It's going to get built there or somewhere in Texas. I'm pretty sure, but they're still working on it. It's not a dead deal. They're still working on it over there in Hutto.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. All right, appreciate you giving us a call, man. Thank you. All right, there you have it. All right, so everybody's excited. Hey, man, that's like the 5th guy that's DMing me about the Hutto complex. So is there going to be a complex built here for PG in Houston, or is that?
Honestly, if they don't do the Hutto one, it'll be built in Houston more than likely. Okay. Or a good chance to be built in Houston, or take over some other stuff. But we'll see. I mean, that's way over my pay grade on that. Okay. That's like CEO and owner type talk. And
alrighty.
Well, hopefully I'll get to be in a few of those meetings. But
okay, we got another caller.
I'm sure you will.
We got another caller via the Ferrari Michelada Mix line. So, hey, who we got on the line?
Hey, this is Brian.
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing fine, man. What are you going to ask the big boss man right here?
So, how is the change from U-Trip to Perfect Game going to change with the rosters? Because I know that I have some experience with Perfect Game before, and it's a new roster every tournament, right?
High school, I think it is. I mean, traditionally they've been bring your best guys and play, right? Because it's been the major stuff, and so I think they understand, and I think they're going to continue. We still have to talk about some of that stuff. I think the majors are going to be what we talked about is you probably need to freeze a roster within a few weeks before the event, like a big national championship. But I don't think you need to freeze it 2 months out or 3 months out. And so, but at the same time, you can't have 4 teams signed up and then one drops out because all their players went to another team. And so you got to do something to kind of protect that on the youth side, so you're not losing your team when 5 people everybody's already paid to go and they swap teams on you. So you have to do something with that, and we got to work our ways through that. The AA and AAA, I think we'll have rosters on there. You're gonna have to play with your roster in that. We probably same thing. We probably wouldn't freeze your. I think the frozen roster thing will happen later in the deal. I personally don't like dealing with it for the month before the state. I think after state, if you're actually gonna go to a World Series or something, maybe you freeze the roster or something and give them a few player ads or something. But it doesn't need. I mean, because that way you can stay AA or stay AAA. Okay. The major one needs to be more of. We got to find a way to protect it from everybody dropping and going to another team, so you don't have that team fall apart. But at the same time, we still want you to bring the best players to that event, right? Do you agree, Steve?
Right.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And so we still want you to bring the best players, but you can't destroy Team B and they all go to Team A, or they all are the best players from Team A and B form a team. Now you just lost 2 teams from the event that all those parents paid for a trip, and they all went over and played with Team C. I mean, you can't have that happen either.
All right. Is that it? You got another question?
Yeah. How are the pitching rules going to change?
I mean, right. The difference is, and I had Junior post something about pitching and forfeits last week, so nobody knew it was me. But I was just kind of curious. But basically, what we're gonna do, I think in Atlanta on the youth side, what he did kind of a triple crown thing. It used to be a triple crown, and they do the innings versus the outs. And what they did is, I think they're doing the three. If you pitch more than 3. You can't pitch for 2 days instead of like ours. If you pitch more than 3, you can't pitch a day. They did 2 days. I think this weekend for sure, we're just going to keep it like we've been doing. We just got to sit a day. We're going to do the outs, and I'm going to try to get them to move it to where we're going to go by outs and still keep it at 8 innings for the weekend. Okay. But what PG found is when they were trying to do the pitch smart stuff and keeping track of pitches, too many people were cheating and stalling games, and it was taking too long to get through games because everybody's changing pitchers 5 times more often than normal. And so they kind of implemented a 100 pitch rule for the weekend for over a 3-day period. And so they may add some stuff in the 4th day or something like that, but they kind of do this. So we're going to go by our current rules. We're going to make some adjustments by the time we get to the fall, but we are going to add in the 100 pitch thing. We're going to try to keep track of it with Diamondcast as of next week. We'll try to get the umpires to keep track of it this week. I do think that I went back and forth on this. The poll you had was like 130 to like 80 on. Yeah. I think what we might do, we'll probably do it this weekend, but is if you violate pitching, I don't think we're going to make it a forfeit. I think we're going to eject the coach for the weekend and possibly the player, and then the rest of the team can still play. That way there's a penalty. The parents still have to pay attention to what's going on, and if you violate pitching, it's not. I don't know that I want to send everybody home every time we do that. And so, but at the same time, there's got to be a stiff penalty for those 4 guys, because we all know it's the same 4 guys that are doing it every weekend. And so there's got to be a penalty there. It can't. In Georgia, there's no penalty. You just change them out if he goes over, and they go about their business. I think you got to kick the coach out, and at the very least, you have to kick the coach out for the rest of the tournament, and then kind of go from there. But as far as the number of outs and all that, I think we're going to keep it pretty much the same.
Okay, cool.
But I agree with everybody else.
What's the limit of number of coaches you can have so I can line extra coaches up?
I'm joking. No, I understand, man. If you got 9 guys and your parents are willing to still play with you because their dad's on the field, whatever, I mean, great, more power to you. But as long as you're out of the way, man, you're all good.
Pasadena Legends got 10.
All right, man. I appreciate you giving us a call, man.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, man. Hey, if anybody wants to keep giving us a call, 713-703. What's the last 4 numbers?
5783.
5783. Almost.
I'm cool with everything you just said, except for booting out the pitcher.
And I was kind of going back and forth on that.
Yeah, because.
Nah, man. Kick him out, too. The kid knows,
Be quiet. No, he doesn't.
The kid knows.
No, he doesn't.
It's Major Baseball, dude.
So if you have the kid that's pitching and the coach keeps on sending him out there. Right. Okay, why penalize him?
And that's not. That was just something I was thinking.
I
don't know that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
It was just kind of bouncing around.
Yeah, I'm cool with the coaches.
Yeah, bouncing ideas around and stuff like that. But
to Junior's point, the coaches know.
Yeah, and when you also it avoids the deal where the other team,
local law enforcement has access.
The other team is sitting there knowing that you've overpitched, right? And they're waiting for you to throw one more. Dude, okay, let's just fix it, right? And let's go about our business. Yeah. I mean, but there's got to be a penalty. There's got to be a penalty for that for the team. I mean, it can't.
People are saying to kick the parents out too.
That's probably the starting point, right? So
yeah, these guys are something else. All right, we got another question. So, are the umpires getting a raise now?
I don't think so. I mean, we're gonna continue doing what we're doing. We got more guys. Okay. I mean.
Now, for this weekend, are they going to be the umpires? Are they going to be normal, or are they still calling strike behind the pitchers, strikes and balls?
This very first weekend, we're going to go ahead and go with behind the mound. I hate it, but I mean, I think this first weekend we're going to go ahead and go with that, and then next weekend we'll probably go
back to regular.
Okay,
cool.
Cool.
So, aside from the big major events you're trying to do, what's going to be like the big tournament? I mean, it was the S30 for the last couple of years. Are you still going to shoot for that March weekend?
Yeah, it'll be that first March weekend. It's still going to be that type of event. I mean, teams are used to coming in at that time.
You'll just figure out a name later.
Yeah, we'll come up. There's going to be an event next summer that's going to be like the Elite 32 or the Elite, what they're calling the Elite now, that actually has a set number of teams. I think if I had my wish, it would be you invite. I think the best way to do it is you take the top 2 teams from 4 or 5 of the national events, you give them a pre-invite to go to an event, and then everybody else got to earn their way in. And so that way you already know when you're going back. And so theoretically, you got the top 10 teams in the country from last year. They got their berths already. Ideally, I like to see that. We still have to hash a lot of that stuff out.
Yeah, of course. Now, so you said you want to bring a big tournament in the summertime. How is that going to conflict with the tournaments that they're having in Atlanta during that time?
Because they don't really do the big tournaments as far as
they have them now. Well, last year, this year.
Well, you've got the perfect game event that they just started last year.
Right.
Okay. I think you still end up having. You have to have in that region.
Right,
Every region's got to have some kind of postseason play. Okay, and that's been a mistake they haven't had. That's a mistake nations made. No postseason play, right? And so you have to have postseason play regionally. Okay. And maybe that event stays that event, or maybe gets renamed. But I think you still need to have, if you want to do what they did to be successful in the high school, you start out with a set number of teams and try to hold that as long as you can. And so and just make it special and make you earn your way in there. And then you can have some other events like they're doing right now, where they just bring everybody in. There's 80 teams in the 12U, and you're gonna play it out. Yeah. I mean, get after it, and then it doesn't make it easier for your schedules. And so there, and like with U-Trip, we talked about like, hey, let's just give 10 bursts away and then 24 to earn them. It just could never get passed and never get it done, because everybody was always fighting over like, hey, I still need my Super NIT, and we went from having 32 Super NITs a year, 28, to where we went to having 24, 25 select 30s and 45 or 50 Super NITs around the country. I mean, it's like, okay. I mean, because everybody wanted their little Super NIT, right? Yeah. And so you need to make them have some special events, and so you can run some of that stuff through that PG25 or whatever it happens to be as far as creating a new event and making it special. But you've got to be successful. You got to have that event that it's hard to get into. It's hard to get into.
Yeah. So to start off, are you guys going to do like a tutorial, send out an email on how to set up the profiles for the coaches and parents and all that? That's some of the questions that they're asking.
Because that's not easy.
The funny thing is like the guy that runs everything at PG. I mean, I guess he's an animal and just really works hard, Taylor, and nothing really bothers me. I mean, I'm just really easy. He called me yesterday when we were talking about this, and like, we weren't gonna. He's like, I'm like, can you get this done in 24 hours? He's like, what? And then when we finally decided to do it, I think it was maybe just a day. He called me up. He's like, you seem awful calm. I'm like, dude, I know you're not, man. He's like, he's still doing schedules right now.
Is he?
And so, I mean, the head guy, because they're having to teach us how to do them, because we're obviously switching from the USSSA system over, and so it's a little confusing for us on how we're doing it, because we're so used to after 10, 11 years of doing it the other way. And so I think, and actually for those that don't know, I'm pretty sure that PG has at the very least a Saturday schedule for this weekend up on their website. Okay. And then there's a link, or there's supposed to be a link, or they'll be there shortly on my website, the HoustonBaseballTournaments.com. So if you go to HoustonBaseballTournaments.com, there should be a link on there for the event this weekend. Okay. And then if Sunday's not there yet, it'll be back up. Should be up there later. But this weekend, where all the games are at baseball on Saturday, all the games are at Baseball USA, the Rack, and at Premier. No other off-site fields. And then on Sunday, I think we have a couple fields at West Little York, just because we got 36 teams playing Friday night. It's just short notice. Right. Half our fields are closed down for the weekend still from the county and that. So we're putting our best foot forward with everything.
So now Premier's in the rotation now?
I was already having 2 weekends a month. And so they did have some concern when I talked to them today. But I think I took care of that as far as, because they obviously have to be full, and if you're just going to do majors, there's no way they can stay full. Correct. So in order to keep your parks and to be a player in the market, you have to do AA and AAA, because it's called controlling real estate. If you can't control the real estate and keep it full, you're not going to keep your parks, and that gives you the opportunity for that competitor to come in. And so it's so we got to fill parks.
So another question is: are the teams that are already qualified for the Elite 32 still a good bid? Right?
Yeah, they're. I mean, they're going
That's
to take
their
every
own
team.
thing now, right?
They're going to take their teams, and I'll still, if you send me an email or something on the U-Trip stuff, I'm still going to forward it into where it needs to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be like, I'm not going to ghost you. I mean, we're still going to send you where you need, and we're just going to help you if we have to.
Okay. So the rack is an official PG site, right?
Yeah, PG. We're doing some
Let's
softball
go.
out there too, but yeah, we're going to.
Because
My contract says I'm PG.
Okay. Hey, because people are asking, now that there's a change, are we still going to be able to run that softball tournament? So
It's good. I still own the rack.
there you go.
Dude,
there you go. There you go, Flash. Flash Gordon was the one that was worried. He's like, man, where are we going to play the softball tournament? Well, there you go. But are the fees going to change? Startup fees for Perfect Game. When you sign up, do you have to pay an initial fee to get in there?
Not for the next couple months.
He just said that.
Not for the next couple months. I got to wait, and then when we come back, it's basically the same fee as you pay with USSSA.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Hold on. I had another question here. Any DFW plans for PG?
I'm looking for fields up there. We're going to run. They already run some stuff up there. I think what will happen is my staff or myself will start running those youth events up there and going up there and handling them for them. Britt Smith, the one that runs everything in PG right now.
Okay.
I've only talked to him briefly, and that was me just helping him with fields, and he didn't know I was coming over. And so he prefers we're doing all high school stuff. And so if I can, I'm going to try to help him out with doing as much of the youth as we can with our staff. And so we can run those events for him.
So, I mean, who runs stuff in Dallas anyway? Is there a U-Trip up there?
Britt lives up there. Baseball Nation runs up there. There's a couple other random guys that I'm friends with. And then and James Bell, I'm friends with him too, or at least I was up until 5 o'clock. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, but they do a lot of. They have a lot of stuff going on up there. There's a lot of fields up there too, so they go unused every weekend. So we're gonna find some directors up there. We are going to come to Dallas. I mean, we're gonna
eventually.
I don't even know if it's eventually. It'll be in the fall. I mean, and then we're gonna run stuff in San Antonio and Austin, working on some stuff. I mean,
any love for the RGV?
Fields. And if there's somebody down the valley that's good that wants to come on board,
There ain't nobody there.
Nobody good?
then we'll do some, then we'll do some stuff. I mean, I ran
Stay away from that.
I ran in Corpus. That's how my son got trained, was running Corpus for me on the stuff. He got indoctrinated a little bit. So.
Oh man.
Okay, so here's another
East
one.
Texas. If there's anybody out in East Texas that's good that wants to run something, just hit me up.
We had a question about Beaumont.
Yes.
So they're under your direction. What's the deal out there with Beaumont?
Beaumont, I'm talking to everybody. My job is to talk to everybody about getting somebody to come over with us.
Okay.
And if Morgan Walker's out there and you want to come on board with us with PG, hit me up. We'll get you started.
Okay.
Maybe out in California, Arizona, anywhere around the country. If you're a quality director and you want to change over, the program with PG is going to be changing. It's not what it's been in the past.
Okay.
But it isn't all in or you're all out. And so if you want to be fully all in with some of the growth that we're going to be experiencing, hit me up, 979-235-0972.
Oh, they're watching out there. So, yeah.
So Santos has already he's asking, where does he put the application for the RGV director? He said he'll go down there. So there you go.
Stay away from that.
I'm a much nicer guy when I'm down there. I'm not making nobody mad.
So,
I'm not making nobody mad.
So here's another one. So are there going to be new monikers for the divisions? We already have, AA Select, AAA Elite, Premier Majors.
I just to keep it unconfusing because nobody has a copyright on AA, AAA Major. We're just going to keep it AA, AAA Major. It still drives me nuts to this day that people that come like, hey, is this Select or is this what is Select? What is Elite? What is Premier? I mean, Major League Baseball is single A, AA, AAA Major. I mean, how hard is that to follow? Let's just keep that, make it easy.
Okay. Domingo Castañeda says, how do I transfer my 1 million points to Perfect Game?
That's your 1 million points is with Nations. And so I mean, and they're pretty much useless. I don't even know what 1 million points is, man. What do you use those points for?
I don't know.
Hey, no kidding. What do you use them for?
I don't know. I was looking at the tournaments going on this weekend, and I clicked on the Nations one. Dude, there's like teams with like 300,000 points. I'm like, damn.
Where'd they go?
I don't know, but the record is like 2-1. I guess Okay. Anyways, John Rees is asking, will sunflower seeds be allowed at all PG events?
This weekend, no sunflower seeds, man.
No?
No sunflower seeds.
Right.
That's more of a health thing. Nobody should be using those things.
All right, John. Sorry about that.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week. much love to Roy Swan real quick. Let's take a little break. Hey, give some love to our sponsors, C4 Bat Company, for all the best wood bats, best machines, best customer service. Swing C4. Also, Issa Cookies for all your delicious sweets, cookies, macaroons, and much more. www.issacookie.com. Also, for the best sunflower seeds in the game, you can chew them every weekend except this one. Senor Spitz custom sunflower seeds. Also, shout out to Rick Web Design for all your online and web and internet needs. Big shout out to Ferrari Michelada Mix, always coming in through with the hotline. And also, shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Frank the Tank, Team 7 Barbecue Grillers. And I just messed that up. So, I'm sorry, Frank.
He needs to do something with that name.
Hey, so it's Thursday night. It's about to be 10 o'clock. Schedule ain't out.
It is.
It is?
Yeah,
it's on the link.
It's on PG, and
On
then
the PG.
it's on PG, and then it's supposed to be getting put onto the Houston Baseball Tournament's website.
Okay.
That's what I was talking to my son about earlier. And so initially he couldn't find it on PG. And I'm trying to get them to clean up their front page so we have a youth tab at the top. So it is a little hard to find it. That's why for right now we're going to have a link on the site. And hopefully it'll get cleaned up on the PG website by Monday.
Okay.
And, so,
And I know we've talked about this. Now, is 7U and 8U divisions, are they still coach pitch, or are you going to make the transition to kid pitch, or offer it?
Right now, I mean, we're still always trying to do it's about every other year you get a lot of 8U kid pitch. I mean, it's not consistent. We're not going to be like California, but we'll continue to do the same thing we've been doing.
Okay.
Real quick, just we've covered staff. Charles, Amanda, they're still with me and all that. They're not going anywhere. They're excited about they're really excited about the change. We talked about points, schedules. They're out, and then we also like next weekend's tournament and all the other tournaments. They're getting tomorrow. They will get reloaded into the Perfect Game website, and they'll also be linked to my website on Houston Baseball Tournaments.
Okay.
So all the stuff we have posted for the rest of the year is still what we're still playing with. We have all those teams. They'll be loaded in. Most of them already, we know that they're going to play with us anyway from talking to the owners of the organizations. So we'll have those teams still playing. So our tournaments will still be the biggest and the best in the city.
Cool.
Again, I talked about the new events. We'll change some names of a couple to make them a little more special, try to get some people in. Yeah, and then 13U, I think I've seen somebody ask about. I know PG is mostly 60-90. We are working towards that, and we'll get to the fall. We'll do more of the majors as 60-90 and try to do the AAA and AAA and the AA as 54-80, and then move those 13Us up to the 60-90. We're going to try to have some during the next couple months, but definitely in the fall, moving that way.
Okay. And I know people were asking about the bats. There was a confusion on that.
On that.
Clear that up real quick.
There's no, I mean, maybe the PG thing, because it was all the old Caba guys and the Lily guys that were running that thing, and they set a contract or something. But like, if you're swinging the bat with USSSA right now, you can swing it with USSSA, not USSSA, with Perfect Game.
Okay.
And like I'd already switched on the 14 opens and 14 majors going BB Core only. Okay, so other than that, it's still gonna be -5 for the other 14s right now for the rest of this spring. Maybe in the fall we switch it up and change it to BB Core all for the 14U. Yeah. We'll have to look at that. And then I think it's -8 in the 13U. So whatever those rules are, they're going to maintain the same rules on those bats. Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 1-piece, 2-piece. If it's got the 1.15 on there and got the stamp or whatever, and it's got that BF, whatever it is, that bat's going to be eligible to play.
Okay. Nice.
Any umpires going through specific Perfect Game training, or you're keeping it the same?
Well, like right now, like where in the past I've just used one umpire in chief. Before we got shut down, we actually kind of went to 3 guys. So you're not going to be perfect. Hopefully we're getting better guys more often. Doesn't always happen that way. I'm using Charlie Strausser, who does all the high school stuff in the city. Initially he was with us at not PG, but at Baseball USA. Initially were doing things the nation's way, and that wasn't going to work for us, so we kind of had a falling out. We've kissed and made up, and we're all on the same page, and he understands what I want, and he has some really good high school umpires. So like a lot of the 13s and 14s on the higher end, he's going to take those typically. And so like this weekend, Charlie's guys are doing Premier and 3 fields at the rack, and then my other guy is doing Baseball USA and 3 fields at the rack. Okay. And so we're kind of splitting it up. That way it's really hard to umpire for us, because when you're doing 8,000 teams a year, that makes you the biggest UIC in the country. I mean, there's not too many UICs that are doing 16,000 games. Yep. And so it's It's hard tracking those guys down, so it gives him a little better chance to do it. And then we also did do that ump app earlier in the year where during this dead period, a lot of those guys have actually taken the test, and we've gotten more of those guys to do it. So at least most of them have went through and did 2, 3 of the tests that were online to make sure that we were getting there some continuing education.
Okay. Good. Cool. Maria Estrada, did you see what she asked? Or drop? Well, hold on.
So no Cat 8?
Yeah, no Cat 8. What about, how'd that come about? No, you can still use the Cat 8. It hasn't been banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know.
Okay.
Is the new Prime Meta 33 banned from PG2? Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on, man. That's an easy. That's easy. They're not gonna let that go.
Here's one from Beth. Do you believe other states area that do not have that PG option will travel here to play if they live in an area where USSSA is king?
I mean, right now, the only place, I mean, you have USSSA is king in Louisiana. We're going to go over to Louisiana and run tournaments. There's too many fields over there to get in turf. We'll do some events over there. Dallas is really, UTRIP is still king in Dallas. We'll get up there. And I know those teams will come down and run events or still play occasionally with the PG. We're already, John Martin, I brought him on when he was over in Austin. He sold his business to Josh Sanders. He's doing a great job over there. I mean, he's more than welcome to come on board. But otherwise, my job is to run events, so we're gonna go everywhere we can go. There's fields, we get teams.
What are the game lengths going to be? Same?
Yeah, I mean, we were starting to go. We have to get some of this back on pace, right? We tried to extend before we got shut down. We extended a bunch of the weekends for the 14 majors game lengths. We added some minutes to those.
Okay.
But otherwise, we're still gonna keep the 9s and 10s are still gonna be the hour 30 and because typically most of the guys don't have enough pitching anyway. So, and then the 11s and 12s, we're gonna in 13s and half the 14s will do the hour 40s. We went to hour 45s on a lot of the higher end 14U, and so I think we even did 13U on the Super NIT. We did on the 13 majors. We did 1 hour 45, I think, too.
I want to go back to something you said, but first, are there going to be PG events run at BLD?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, unless something strange happens, I talked to the general manager there. She knows. I mean, ultimately, they need to be full.
Okay.
And it's like maybe they get a U-Trip event or something, and I'm sure some people are going to travel in to play there. But if they want to consistently be full, I mean, I think we're their best bet. That's just me.
You know, Christopher McGee asked a question that I wanted to ask you and I forgot. How will payments work moving forward with PG? Because we know there's a little bit different.
There's a little bit different. We have to talk through some of those things.
Okay.
And some of it is just me. I mean, we're the largest director. I'm the largest, or was the largest director in the country. Even if we quit today with USSSA, I'm still, and they finish up the next 2 months, I'm still going to be their largest director for the year. And so they're going to have to take my word for it on how to do it. The guy in Atlanta came from Triple Crown, and Triple Crown, if you're not paid 10 days in advance, they cancel the tournament if they don't have enough teams. And so we're here. They're going to have to work with us a little bit and not – I know they want to go cashless, but we're going to try to convince them to do it a little bit of a mix. Okay. And then we just have to have a good accounting of what's going on. And so if you're accounting for every dollar and everything matches up, it's not as big a deal. And we've got plenty of staff for it, and I'm going to try to get that to happen.
Okay. Yeah, because that's, you know – the payment system with Perfect Game, that's if you're not used to it.
Well, you can't. I mean, it's hard when you're playing every weekend, right? If you're playing every weekend, it's different. Like at my Super NIT, 99% of the teams pay in advance before we do the schedule. Okay, it's not that big a deal for the major teams. They know what's going on.
Right.
Most of the other teams, and even with that, I still have a handful of teams that they're going to pay me at the thing. There's just no way around it. And so, because half the teams are collecting the money at the event, and the rest of it, and I don't know if they're going to be organized enough to do it every single weekend that way. And so, yeah, it'd be nice, but it's we'll see. We're going to try to get it to where we can keep it the same.
Okay.
Olivia Cunningham, shout out to Marco Cunningham as well. She asked, did you say that there will be games tomorrow for 13U?
Yeah, there's I don't know, it should be on our website. I don't know if somebody can check for me.
Okay.
But if it's on the Houston baseball tournament, my understanding that it was listed on the Perfect Game. But there's no 13 and 14-year-old games tomorrow night on the Friday night. There wasn't enough teams that volunteered.
Okay.
And so it's my understanding.
Okay.
My son's doing all the schedules now, so I'm off the hook. But
yeah.
but it should be on there.
Okay.
And so
yeah, just go on there.
We do have game. We have like 36 games tomorrow night.
So let me ask you a question, because you said 14U about BB Core. Why wouldn't you just implement that now?
This weekend we're doing because there's so many teams. I don't want to make everybody on the 14Us currently. I guess they're getting ready to have it, but like, and maybe next weekend we go to the 14 AAA too. Okay. But like on this weekend, the 14 Open is BB Core.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think that should already be made standard.
Yeah, I agree.
That should have been done at U-Trip as well.
Yeah, the problem with that is, and I have a difference of opinion with a lot of kids. Both my kids were late puberty kids. Okay. And both my kids raked in high school, college. But we swung our heavy bat once in a while. We didn't swing baby core at 14. Occasionally we do wood. And one was all state and all the rest of it. And 2 years in a row. So they didn't get big till end of freshman year, sophomore year. What sense does it make to swing a super heavy bat at 12 and 13 when at 14 or 15 you're going to be 5 inches taller and 50 pounds heavier? Okay, that weight it's not helping you with your swing a lot of times. So that late puberty kid's at a huge disadvantage on that. It's just reckoning a swing, in my opinion. Okay. But the kids that's 5'10", 6 foot, by all means, they should be swinging BB core.
Well, I'm just at 14, my opinion is you're either in high school or you're going to high school. Yeah. So you got to drop the drop 5 and all that other crap.
The difference, I was talking to Jeremy Eisenhower about that. It's like they've got a whole fall going into their freshman year to get ready with the BB core for tryouts. And so like leading into that, you should really swing the bat that's appropriate for your size and weight.
Oh, and that's real tough because. And so,
but you're not going to be behind because you're going to be bigger and stronger when you get into that freshman class. By February, the difference between February and September, you're a different person sometimes. Yeah. So you're going to be stronger by the time you get to that point. Swinging that BB core in February is not helping you in September. I've got 2 kids that went through that.
I understand what you're saying. My deal about that is only baseball starts in September of that year. We can all sit here and say tryouts are January. Yeah. Tryouts ain't in January. They're in September. Yeah. So you need to start hitting that bat. So that's why I like it during the summertime. Yeah. So that's
in summer. Yeah. I could be down with summertime and getting ready for it.
So that's my thing.
And the reality is I'm gonna probably swing in the cage. We're gonna swing a mix of the bats, right? True. We're gonna go heavy light and we're gonna swing our game bat. Okay, this week today we're gonna swing mostly the BB core or whatever we're gonna do and getting ready. But like get in the game, you want to be in the lineup, right? Yeah. So if you can swing a drop 5, you're gonna. In February you're gonna swing the drop 5, right? So, and then that way you're ready and you're still getting your work with your heavy bat and your BB core before you get to that point.
Well, brought to you by once again the Ferrari Michelada Mix Hotline, all the way from Corpus area. We got one of my good friends, Aaron Stimson, on the line. Hey, what's up, Aaron?
What's going on, Junior? What y'all doing down there, man?
Man, we out here making moves, man. What's going on?
Man, perfect. I thought y'all were gonna go back to TBL or something. Now y'all doing perfect games over there?
TBL, damn.
What's that? What is that? Is that some kind of like?
Hey, Aaron, I hadn't heard those initials in a long time.
You sitting there with Bernal or something?
Yeah. You know.
Oh man.
What's going on, bro?
Nah, I see what y'all are up to, man. I heard y'all talking about that drop 3 power, drop 5 power.
No, that's Junior.
Hey, none of us got any power anymore. Although I am up to like 7 pull-ups, so.
Yeah.
So how do you feel, Aaron, about Houston being the new hub for PG, man? You guys gonna come down here?
Awesome. I just hung up with a couple of people, man. That's awesome, man. It's gonna be good. We really didn't have anything that close to us, so they tried it down here. I think Kevin Mitchell tried it down here in Corpus for maybe a month, 2 months. I don't know, maybe a little bit longer.
That dude was giving cookies out for first place, dude. Come on, man. And so he was literally giving cookies. I'm like, here's your first place prize.
Yeah, so we tried it, but it didn't work. But I just hung up with some people. I'm like, man, that's awesome. We're gonna have to live in Houston because it's especially with it helps now that we're 12. We're about to be 12, so. From here on out, like the U-Trip really doesn't do much for us. You know what I mean? It should be. And we got to go perfect.
And I was talking to one of the guy in Atlanta that runs the U stuff, and one of the things he brought up is like as we're doing some of my team Texas type of stuff and doing more of the showcase for the 12 and 13-year-olds, is it really allows them to know who the better kids are at 13 and 14, and you have a better gauge on it to see them a little earlier. Yeah. And so it'll help them in those because sometimes they have a hard time getting the best 14s. And especially on the 13U event, getting those best 13-year-olds.
Hey, Aaron. So the word around the block in Corpus, everybody excited, huh?
Oh yeah. We're pumped. We gotta start living over there in Houston. We're gonna start doing those. Get with Darren and figure out where those stay in plays are.
The only again, I'm an employee now, man. So like, I don't know if does PG do stay in play? I don't think so, do they?
No, they probably don't. But.
I mean, the only thing I do on a hotel, sometimes people get confused because I'll send something out on a hotel, like here's a hotel. It's not a stay and play. It's the fact that the lady that I send it out for is like awesome and she really takes care of me on stuff and she really.
They say Darren's house big enough for all of us, so we'll go.
No, dude, I live in a town. I live in a townhouse. I live in a townhouse by Baseball USA, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
And you get pizza, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, real quick, man. I know, like you said, they were giving out cookies over there, right? Well, guess what? We're gonna be giving out at PG events. Pizza cook cookies. Yeah.
We can do that as a supplement. What was that other thing? What was that other thing he was doing down there? It was like lollipops or something. There was something else weird other than the cookie thing.
Maybe the world's famous chocolate. I'm not sure.
Dude, he had a couple. He had a couple of things going on, man. It was crazy. I was like, what are you giving out? Because trust me, I did events down there for a little while. Oh my God, man, they are insane about what the prizes are going to be. I mean, you're going to get more questions about what the prize is going to be for your tournament than any other question, man. It was definitely fun.
All right, man. Hey, Aaron. Hey, it was good talking to you, my man. We got a few more callers on the line, so I'll let you go, and I'll holler at you later, man.
Yeah, keep in touch with me.
All right, sounds good, bro.
Hey, y'all take care, guys.
All right.
Thanks, cool. Aaron. So, again, back-to-back fire via the Ferrari Michelada Mix hotline. Former first-round pick for your hometown Houston Astros. Willie Ainsley's on the line, guys. What's up, Coach?
What's going on, man?
I guess Willie's going to get a chance to see if PG's any good or not, right?
Yeah,
he was
that's why he's calling. That's why he's
asking a while ago.
What's going on,
Darren,
Willie?
I just had to comment on that about the BB core and the drop 5. We have firsthand witness that ain't true. At 14 majors, you should be swinging a BB core at 14
I think that's what we said.
If you 14 AA, swing a -5. If you 14 AAA on up, you should be swinging a BB core.
And I pretty much
-5 should be outlawed any above AA for 14-year-olds.
And I don't. And truthfully, I think I'm pretty much 90% there. I don't completely disagree. I mean, and we pretty much said like last year and this year both we did the majors has been BB core, and so it's just hard when you're the third. Really, what it was is I think from a national standpoint, the 13 majors play 14 AAA a lot. And so that's kind of why we still left it at the drop 5, I think. And so a lot of those kids are playing up, and so that was the reasoning behind it from the U-Trip standpoint. But again,
it's the same thing. The kids that's 13 AAA or majors, they're gonna be competing. Some of those guys are already going to high school. I know there's some 13s that's going to high school. They still playing 13 and under baseball right now, and they're going to high school next year.
You need to get on the big field.
They should be swinging a BB core bat.
Yeah, you definitely need to get on the big field, man. For 13, you got to get used to that big field for sure. And we don't disagree completely on the BB core thing. I mean, but kids do change over time, and it's getting bigger than that. And a lot of those pre-puberty kids are going to have a hard time with that, and it's not helping their swing.
Yeah, but what? That's like saying, oh, well, lifting weights ain't going to help you right now. Wait till you get too much from high school. Puberty's going to kick in and then start lifting weights.
Yeah, but
if you start earlier, you're going to build more mass up to when puberty kicks in, you got a lot of chance to build onto that.
I mean, you can probably argue with 50 guys. If you go to
high school to lift weights, you're not going to be on time. You're going to be behind.
Yeah, but you should be lifting weights anyway. Lifting 2 extra ounces
so if you want to swing a BB core before you go to high school, right before you go to high school, you're going to be behind.
I think part of our conversation earlier was you should be swinging it in the cage for sure, and you mix it in. I mean, you by all means, you should be mixing it in.
A cage and a game is 2 different things.
And again, you can mix it in.
And anybody believe that is crazy. Swinging a wood bat in a game and swinging an aluminum bat in a game is not even the same thing.
Oh, no, completely different.
Yeah, so you can't say that a kid shouldn't be. I got a kid that swung it at 12.
I think that's completely. I think that's completely. What's the point?
The point is for you to sit up there and say they shouldn't be.
That's my Willie.
The wrong way.
Willie,
just like you think. If you're gonna be in high school the next year, you need to be swinging a BB core. There's no reason to be swinging a -5. I don't care how big you are, how little you are. You need to grow up and get with the big boys and swing that BB core.
Again, your opinion's your opinion. My opinion's my opinion, man. So I mean,
But that ain't even close.
I've thought about it as much as you have, man. You're good.
Yeah. Hey, Willie, thanks, bro. We got a couple of other calls, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. So,
yeah, interesting.
So man, just make 12 UBB core and up.
Yeah.
Fuck it, right?
I mean, pretty much. I mean,
yeah.
Just let me know if you do it so we can start buying BB core bats.
Yeah, exactly.
But hey, it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean, you should work on all that. So you swing. Some kids will swing wood in the cage. You're still doing it, and you're gonna swing that bat periodically in the game, and you should get ready. I mean, that little kid ain't gonna be ain't playing but on the freshman team anyway.
Yeah. That's just how it goes. Hey, real quick, for this week, so are you gonna have? Okay, so when does PG merchandise start showing up at the events? Because they're everywhere in the PG.
Dude, I mean,
and they're overpriced.
It's like, I mean, I told them there might be some bootleg stuff, but I mean,
those hats cost more than New Era, man.
I think by next week there's going to be some PG merchandise.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll be lucky if I can get everything in tomorrow, so at least my staff can be. They'll probably be in Team Texas gear this weekend, or a combination of Team Texas and PG gear. Okay. Hopefully, it's going to come. I mean, Charles is like, I got 40 golf shirts in my closet, and so that are. He was always bootlegging his U-Trip shirts on the stuff. But again, Charles and Amanda are still with us. If anybody has questions, you can still call them and that. And it's just. Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, good.
That's good. Hey, well, you're gonna have to give us a banner, man, so we can hang it up here.
Man. I gotta. Yeah, definitely.
Man, I was actually. I'm about to throw my U-Trip hat away, man.
I actually wore my U-Trip hat yesterday.
Dude, I mean, I've kind of rolled over all Team Texas hats, so it's like I'm kind of safe to a certain degree. Yeah. It was funny because I was like the #1 director with U-Triple-A for like quite a while, and I'd go to convention like, "Where's your U-Trip shirt?" I'm like, "I don't own any." I literally, for like the first 6 years I was with the U-Trip, I didn't have a U-Triple-A shirt. And so I'd go to conventions, so they started finally just giving that shit to me. Like, here, can you wear this? Can you wear this? So.
Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah, so, man, anything else, Junior?
Man, I think that's it. What do you think, Darren? You think we covered everything? Anything we missed?
I think so. I think as far as rosters go, we will send some stuff out tomorrow. If you want to upload some rosters ahead of time, great. If you just want to turn in a paper roster for the weekend, we'll probably be okay with that. Okay. And then we'll hopefully get all stuff worked out by Monday. We'll start trickling stuff out as we go.
So when you say turn in a roster, do you want like names and DOBs, or how do you want that?
Just like you could print out your U-Trip roster if you want and just write it in. I just need something when someone complains and says, hey, he just had a kid show up that wasn't here yesterday, then I can say, okay, what's on the roster? Kind of old school how we used to do it. Yeah. I mean, it used to be an old school way of doing it. Okay. And then we'll start to get that stuff loaded in as we're getting it, and so we can kind of track everybody. Okay. And there'll be a little bit of this weekend. There'll be a little bit of a test run, and so kind of see what we're doing, and just kind of go from there. And so, what we're gonna do this weekend too is we normally do not give you baseball. We normally provide the umpire the baseballs. Mm-hmm. You need to check in with the director. The director will give you 6 baseballs, and they'll give you some hand sanitizer for your team. Okay. Most of the parks should have the little Roundup bottles you spray your yard with, a disinfectant for the dugouts. Okay, we're gonna have one of those on every field. And so at least, I don't know what Premier's doing, but at least at the rack and at Baseball USA. And so, of course, there's a lot of fields. I mean, if we can't get to it in time, I mean, it's there. The coach or a parent can grab it and hose the dugout down before you swap it over. Okay. And so go from there. But the balls, we're going to try to keep it away from the umpires for the most part. So, like, when you go play defense, you just give your pitcher your ball. Okay. But I'm going to give you 6 balls. And so we usually go about 4 balls per team over a weekend. We give you 6. Field 1, 10, and 11 goes eats more balls. We'll do something else different on that field. Okay. But yeah, I think that way if you've been practicing together, you're sharing your germs in your dugout with your baseball. And so that way, if you're feeling uneasy about it, or you didn't sure you want to do it this weekend, we'll try to help you out a little bit, and we'll kind of see how it goes. It may not last very long. We'll try it this weekend, and then if we have to make an adjustment next week, we'll make an adjustment.
Okay. Well, we got our last caller of the night before we go. Via the Ferrari Michelada Mix hotline. Welcome to the WindUp. Who's on the line? Hello? Hello?
Is that my mom?
Hello.
Hello?
Man, all I gotta say is what is going on.
Hey, Sam, you got 1 minute, bro.
Yeah, first we got.
Is this Morel?
Man, first we got. Man, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous, Darren.
What's that?
First we got what we got. We got the water main break in Houston. Then we got coronavirus. Then we got the damn.
I didn't think about that. It comes in threes.
And then we got the rioting, and now we got Darren going to perfect game. What the hell?
I like it.
I just want to say, man, look forward to grand old man. Congratulations, Darren. Just thought I'd call in and give you a little show, man. I say, man, all I know is if you ain't been praying, the apocalypse, revelations is coming to pass.
It's been pretty positive. Everything's been pretty positive. I'm looking forward to
That's all, man. I just want to call in and guys.
And just like you said a few weeks ago.
News, I think. But yeah, definitely got to be swinging that BB core at 13.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure that's what's going to happen.
Hello?
Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what's going to happen.
He hung up.
Oh, hey.
Damn,
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Sam in under a minute. That's good.
My son hits the ball 500 feet and batted 400 in high school and all that. He didn't swing a BB core at 13.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to hurt him much. He swung a mix of BB core and dropped 5 at wherever they were swinging at 14 or whatever. Yeah. But he had a good swing. He had a good swing.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, anything else, Darren?
I'm good, man. I'm looking forward to everything. Just we'll keep sending information out. If you want to go on, if you're going to try to register a new team with PG, hold off till Monday because we're going to get you registered.
Okay.
And get everything out for you. If you were already registered in any upcoming events, all that stuff's getting done. Just give them time to work through it, and then you can start adding your rosters next week. No, they probably haven't got the $60 fee turned off yet. So to avoid paying the $60, paying the $60 and let us register you. Okay. And so now if you're not registered in any of our events already and you want to get in, wait till Monday. Okay. But everything's going to be 150, 200 teams the rest of the summer, even with the PG stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Well,
what's up, man?
What's up, Darren?
Well, we hope to see it. We hope to hear. Excuse me.
Steve, I'm talking here.
Nah, your mic's still off, dude. Come on, man.
What's up, guys? How y'all been?
None. We're trying
Steve,
to wind
are
up.
you happy to see me or what?
Like Friday night podcast is 11. Not Thursday.
I thought we were going to go till midnight.
No, this is a 1 hour special, man.
Yeah,
but
this has been a pretty good night, though.
Yeah, it's
great
been
night,
great.
night.
Over 300 viewers consistently. So shout out to everybody that tuned in, and that was just on Facebook Live. So
yeah, so good.
Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing everybody at the parks this week, and then just keep on going, right, to the rest of the summer.
Yes, sir.
Good. Baseball's back.
Baseball's back, man, and it's coming back with a bang. So.
Yeah. Also, don't forget tomorrow night we'll be on around 8 o'clock again.
Yes.
We'll be with Charlie Hayes and Sean Heino.
And I'm sure they're going to be drop 3-2. But that's okay, man.
Absolutely.
I saw you getting attacked there, Darren.
Dude, I'm like, I said all along swing BB core too. I wasn't saying exclude it.
I think Julio should have hung up the phone. That was me to Julio.
Buddy.
He just let Darren get attacked like that.
Dude, what's up with that, man?
They're on the same team.
Call drop. Sorry.
Julio's son plays on Willie's team.
It's funny because years and years ago, I forget which son it was. I think it was.
You only have two.
It's my oldest son. It was the one that played with you.
Yeah, you only have two.
Yeah, my oldest son that played with you. When they were like 11, I think they were 11, I brought Willie down to Lake Jackson all the time to help coach and stuff. They weren't going to pay me because I had a kid on the team, so I brought him down to help practices and do all that. He come down and work with both my kids all the time.
Willie.
So
y'all are close.
Used to be.
So that was
used to be.
That was just a fun tease, or
yeah,
what was
something. I don't know. I mean, I've had nothing but love for Willie for years, man.
Willie's a good dude. So are you, Darren.
Hey, first was it 13U event BB core only?
No,
there you go.
12U. We're going 12U BB core.
And then we're
Double A.
There you go.
Well, good, man. Well, hey, Darren, thanks for coming on an emergency podcast to talk about the big news in Houston and also the rest of Texas. So, only the WindUp could bring it to you. Thanks for coming. Junior, what do you got? Anything before we go?
Man, look, baseball's back. I hope everybody's excited. WindUp is going to be booming. Perfect Game's going to be booming. So just, hey, man, if you see us in the park, make sure you holler at us, give us a high five, take a picture with us.
Okay, this is my life right here.
Okay.
So the tournament was June 6th and 7th. It's now June 5th to 7th. Why is that? the only teams playing on Friday are the ones that asked to play on Friday.
Oh.
I mean, that's my email. That's the email I got. She's like, why are we changing it? I'm like, it's still the
PG
same.
now.
It's still the same, but it's still the same tournament. We just started on Friday because the teams that requested to play Friday are going to play Friday, and so it just makes it easier.
Hey, man, I think
that's why.
You know what happened today? We made baseball great again, man.
Dude, I'm looking forward to rolling PG out nationally on some stuff and getting it going good.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's
all I got.
We make baseball great again if we eliminate AA and AAA.
Dude, when all of us were kids, you had the league that sucked. I'm sorry, you had the lower leagues, and then you had the where all the varsity guys were playing. The varsity guys didn't play in the lower league. Yeah. I mean, those guys weren't playing against each other. So that's where the AA, AAA came up. We need to put all those rookie ball guys in the big leagues tomorrow. Like, hey, there you go.
Yeah. Now, so thanks for everybody for coming up. Thanks for showing up, Santos. Thank you, Julio, for answering your phone.
Sorry, guys.
No, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys, man.
I just came to pick up my jersey.
Did you?
And y'all were still rolling.
Yeah,
the
Pete Rose.
The
Pete Rose.
I have not got the Pete Rose jersey.
Yeah.
So we want to thank everybody for showing up and all the people who called in and asked questions. Hopefully, all your questions were answered by Darren. If not, then you know his phone number. You can text him.
Yeah, it's 979-235-0972. Again, 979-235-0972. Larson D9 at AOL.com. I think they gave me a new PG email. It's dlarson@perfectgame.org.
Sounds good.
.org. I think it's perfectgame.org.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know AOL still existed.
Dude, I'm old. I used to like their email system.
They had a great email system.
Hey, I don't like it anymore.
Still got the floppy disk. Floppy disk that come every week.
I do feel old every time I say AOL. So
I want to say hi to my daughter Brittany. She just told me hi. But yeah, thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight. We'll be here tomorrow night around 8-ish, somewhere around there, give or take 20 minutes.
Yeah, I won't be late this time.
Yeah. And
so you didn't know this was going on till like 7 o'clock.
Yeah. It was kind of pretty late. So thanks for everybody for showing up. To our sponsors, C4 Bat Company, Issa Cookies, Ferrari Michelada Mix, Chris Webb at Rick Webb Design, for Senor Spitz, and for Frank the Tank Frank the Tank Grill.
Team 7 Grillers.
Whatever.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
Yeah, him. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.